Welcome back to the Highline Podcast. Hit that button.
Yeah!
Let's go!
You can't do that.
I can't get it right.
Shut the f*** up and let me talk.
I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
You're only young,
But you're gonna die. Proceed to party.
Ooh, are you ready, Riley?
What did he say?
Go Tigers.
That's incorrect.
Go Cox. I think that might be the best one we've ever done. That was good. I like that.
We fly high, no lie. You know this.
Blaney!
Foreign rides outside. It's like showbiz. We stay fly, no lie. You know this.
Blaney!
Denny and Ty. Oh my, they're teammates. Your boy getting paper.
Money.
I buy big cars. I need to fly right to drive in my garage.
Choose one.
Stay sky high. Fly with the stars.
Twinkle, twinkle.
T4 flights, 80 grand launch.
Blaney!
So we lean with it, pop with it. Bacon. Vertible Jones. Mean with the top. Listen. He going clean with the bottom kit. Do it. He hopped out sweaty hands, but his beard was glistening.
Blaney!
He was. But I about to spend $8 grand. Now Blaney on the stage doing the rain dance.
I think she liked me.
Now he hit it with the flow, make it pop.
What else?
I got my pedal to the floor screaming, fuck the cops.
Do it.
We fly high, no lie. You know this. Blaney! Foreign rides outside is like showbiz.
We stay fly.
No lie.
And you know this.
Blaney!
Oh, boy.
That one's hard to do without
was
just dying
interesting.
laughing.
That was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Blaney!
That was good though.
Yeah.
I mean, his name just fits well in so many songs. It's that's a good one.
Dude, whenever I hear it's Blaney.
Yeah.
Every time. I don't even know what the real song says anymore.
Thunder.
Oh, does it? I had no idea. What's the name of that song?
Blaney struck.
You've been.
Blaney struck. Still got the tune tone, everything.
Well, unfortunately, I can't make up songs when my guys win races.
No, because they never do.
Because they never fucking do. I'm about to go this whole year without shotgunning a single beer.
I thought you
Hadn't done one at all this year. Not one.
You gonna do one when Joey wins another Lucky Championship in November?
By the way he's going so far, he might.
That's what I'm saying.
He's having a very good start to the playoffs. As you can see, we are not in the regular studio today.
I love the banner today. We got it camouflaged.
You like the color of my
Blue.
my dining room?
What color is that?
Baby blue ain't your color.
It sure ain't. Ain't my color
Yeah, I
either.
would say it's like a blue gray.
50 Shades of Grey? Is that what we're going to do after this?
It's a good show.
Good show. I knew that was going to happen.
Well, quit fucking with it.
I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable with it. I keep on hitting my hat with it. I'll do it like this. Fuck it.
You just gonna hold it?
Yep.
You gonna scratch my fucking table?
You know what? Yes. Here. You keep talking while I get this shit figured out.
Well, we're having technical difficulties here. As you can see, like I said, we are not in the Highline Studios today. We are at my house, which had to be done, or you would not have seen my pretty mug on the Highline this week because of some prior obligations that I had. But this was the only way we could get it done, was to bring the studio to my house. So here we are sitting at my dining room table, bringing you all of the NASCAR news. And gonna have a good time doing it as Trent continues to screw up my table, which it is what it is on that front. I'm getting running out of things to talk about, so I'm pretty sure he needs to hurry up. Drinking some beer here. Again, like I said, I'm running out of things to talk about. I'm looking at my dishes that need to be done into the kitchen back there, making noise. Here we are.
Hey, I'm back.
We're back in the saddle.
Loose as hell.
Trent here is going to shotgun a beer and
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, too.
going to have a good day watching him destroy my table with beer.
I'm telling you, it's going to clean it up. It's going to
desterilize it.
Desterilize.
Yeah,
Desterilize it.
Yeah, that's next on the agenda is Trent shotgunning his beer. So,
just getting right into it.
Yeah, I mean, that's how we always do. It's the first thing on the docket
Usually we talk
today.
about the week before.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, how was your week?
It was actually not terrible, I
mine
guess.
was awful.
Yeah, I bet it was. Mine had its moments for sure. We're not going to talk
At
about
least Sunday redeemed it for you.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Saturday, but Sunday was. Yeah,
-9 yards rushing from the South Carolina offense.
that's pretty good, man.
And we still should have won the game.
Yeah, it was like a 9-point game, wasn't it?
I mean, we were leading going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Clemson just got their asses whooped by Syracuse.
South Carolina might not win another game until we play Coastal.
Clemson. We might go 1-11. We might. Furman's going to be a hell of a game before we play y'all. Way we're looking right now. I know my week was overall the best weekend I've had in a while. I guess is because Blaney won. Panthers
Beat the shit out of the
Falcons'
Falcons.
ass. Didn't see that one coming. I thought we could win, but I didn't think we could blow them out like that. And to be fair, I think it was more the Falcons just kind of
Laid an egg.
laid an egg than we played great because our offense didn't do a whole lot, but did enough. Our defense played great. Took advantage of it. I'll take a win. I haven't had a win like that with the Panthers in God knows how long. I can't remember the last time we did that to somebody. So that was
Probably
good.
2015.
It wasn't that long ago. That's a decade
I know it did happen in the Super Bowl that year.
Should have.
If Cam would have fallen on a fumble, y'all might have won that
You know
football
what?
game.
He'd rather take that MVP than that Super Bowl trophy. So fuck him.
That's what he said.
Fuck them all. Fuck them by. But my weekend was overall a decent one, I guess, all things considered. Blaney winning on Sunday. Loved it. Cherry on top. More than a cherry on top. It made the most of the Sunday. Then the Panthers getting it done as well. It's always a good sign for me. I know you had a rough one though.
Yeah. Saturday sucked. Obviously, South Carolina losing's never a good thing.
It is for me.
And then going into Sunday, had high hopes for the Broncos. Similar to last week, had a shot to win the football game, just didn't make enough plays and too many penalties and bad throws by Bo Nix.
Are you still a believer?
Yeah, I am. I mean, sophomore slump, it happens. And then, you had the race, which was, at least it was a good race, but my guys were nowhere to be found for most of the day, which is all too common these days. So that sucked. At least I was at work, so I had stuff to take my mind off of it. I wasn't just sitting here drowning in my sorrow, but both nights had something to take my mind off of it. But I was not happy this weekend as far as sporting events go. And I was super excited for college football season.
I'm already over it.
Yeah, I'm already over it.
I was over it last weekend. For sure.
Was kind of excited for the Broncos season. Was expecting them to be good. Kind of already over that.
Hey, we got the same record, bitch.
Yeah.
Y'all are better though.
And then
y'all rebound.
Yeah, and the Chargers are probably going to win the division, and the Colts are going to win their division. So I mean, we've lost to
the hottest teams in football.
Two good teams. So, and we probably should have won both ball games. But not really worried about the Broncos. I think they'll be fine. But I am really worried about South Carolina. I just don't. I don't see how they can fix the issues they have. So, kind of over that season. Luckily, I've got something else to look forward to.
Oh boy,
Hockey season is coming up. got the
Aren't
hockey
they
season.
preseason?
Yep, they're playing preseason games right now. And my Avalanche are going to make it back to the Stanley Cup this year and win it all. And then, of course, Denver, if they're good. And as far as the Nuggets go, we'll see how that is. So,
Yeah.
but, yeah, I mean, other than that,
I think my Toronto Maple Leafs got something to say.
name one player.
Alex.
No,
Or.
I don't think that's a real person.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. All right. Enough diddly-daddling.
Yeah.
Diddly-diddly. Dilly-dallying around.
Dilly.
Now, if we were in the regular studio, I'd be much more comfortable right now. I'm just nervous about this damn thing. It's going to fall off again.
Mine hasn't moved.
Good for you. You probably got the better one.
I do, but I'm also not an idiot.
I am an idiot.
Even though I might get the what an idiot this week.
What an idiot.
Oh, yeah,
That's
my
not
bad.
That's not the segment called.
I could probably get that as well, but I might get the you can't do that.
Yeah, you might. Luckily, I was home. Get to that later.
Yeah.
Like they can hear me. I'm way over here.
They might get an echo. So, as we can see, Trent is popping a hole. It's probably going to be too small, as usual, when he does this.
It's usually too small or too big.
Screwing it up.
That's perfect. Or maybe a little small.
That's too small.
I don't want to make it too big.
I'd rather be too big than too small.
I disagree. I don't know
All
about
right.
that big life.
Tell me when you're ready. I'll count you down.
All right. YRB getting it done at New Hampshire South.
He won the race.
He won at Homestead. He should have last year. We're not going to talk
probably
about that one. That one still hurts me to this day. All right. New Hampshire North. Homestead North. Round of 8. Here we come. Championship 4. Championship. My champion's still alive. He's in a round of 8, baby. Is yours? I didn't think so. Who did you pick your champion to be this year?
I think it was,
Logano?
I don't remember.
That's a long time ago.
It's been a minute.
All right, I'm ready.
It's like Christopher Bell, I think, maybe.
Probably. No, it does it Denny again. No,
I didn't pick Denny
he
this
said
year.
he's gonna retire.
All right. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Wait a minute. I'm sitting down, so I need to pop it like this.
You ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go. Oh, my God. He did it without spilling it. It's too slow, though. Still going. You might need to start doing it sitting down.
I had my neck. I was in a tight space, and it worked better.
That was good. Good job. I'm proud of
Go
you.
12.
It's going to take me 15 minutes the next time Chris wins a race. Oh, man.
Look, not a drop.
Tours. Yeah, you didn't spill it at all. Because you didn't open it before you tilted it this time, which is what you usually do.
Hey, when I'm out in that garage, man, I get wild. I say, fuck the rules. All right, now I'll start. It's Trent Way or the highway.
Yeah.
I'm at somebody else's house. I got to respect the furniture.
There you go. Well, I appreciate it.
Oh, that one hurt.
Yeah.
Whew. We fly high. Let's redo that again.
Blaney. Dude sucks.
He's a goat.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I mean, it was a decent race this weekend at Homestead North.
I thought it sucked.
Okay. I think in all honesty,
kidding. No,
I think it's the best Homestead race.
Yes, it is.
It's the best New Hampshire race I can remember.
Are they racing the sports cars or the late models out there at Homestead this weekend?
Probably. But no, it was one of the better New Hampshire races I've ever seen. Very interesting. It's the widest I've ever seen that track. All 3 lines were working. And passing throughout the field, goers and comers and goers. Blaney being one of them early in the first stage. Qualified on the pole. Fell back to 7th. And then worked his way back up to the lead and won a stage and was kind of the car to beat all day. I think Josh Berry was better than him at the end of the day. I just don't think he was good enough, fast enough to pass him. And then, of course, he made that mistake, got loose, and could never get back to him. But like I said, really interesting race. There's tire wear, tire strategy, pit strategy was important. Blaney fell back throughout the tire strategy. I think in the second stage, maybe it was the beginning of the third stage, he got back there. And
Well, he just never had a great short run car.
yeah, but there was a point where he pitted and other guys didn't.
Yeah,
and he was kind of mired back in traffic there for a minute, and worked his way back through. And like I said, he was probably the best car, if not the best, second best car, and won a race he deserved to win. So that's always good. Like I said, my guys didn't have great days. I'll talk about Brad later, but he caused the biggest wreck of the day. Took out some decent cars in that wreck, and
Shane and
yeah, some guys that were poised to have some really good days. So that was unfortunate. Then you had, like we're going to talk about here in a minute, the Ty Gibbs, Denny Hamlin fiasco, which was interesting to see, and going to be continuing to be interesting going forward to see how that plays out. So a lot of good stuff happened in this race that made it interesting, and that will be continue to be interesting as the weeks go on. So, like I said, one of the better one of the better New Hampshire races that I've seen in a long time, man. I'm gonna give it a 8.5, 9 out of 10. I thought it was great.
good Lord. Okay, that's
I thought
really
it was a great
high.
race.
I give mine a 7.
I think it was the best race in the playoffs so far, other than Bristol.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. But Bristol was really good. And I would obviously Blaney winning is awesome for me. Qualified second. We saw pretty early that he had the best car, just could not get going off the short run. Fell on the initial start from second to about seventh, and then worked his way back up there. Eventually took the lead from his teammate Logano and won stage one. So, the best guy won the race. Most deserving guy won the race. I will say Josh Berry, if he doesn't get spun out by Shane early in stage 2, I believe, I think that's a hell of a battle the whole entire third stage between the 21 and the 12, because they were about equal, and it's according to who had the track position. And Blaney had just good enough tires for when that last caution happened to where he could get by the 21 and use those freshies up, the two rights up to get by the 21. And then when it evened out after like 10 laps, I think 21 was a little bit better than the 12, but he ultimately burned the stuff up. Blaney did a good job of blocking. I mean, he's got a teammate that's the greatest of all time, blocking guys for a lead late. So I'm sure he took some notes from Joe Logano and took some tricks out of Logano's book there to keep 21 at bay. And then eventually the 21 fell off, and then the 12 pulled away from him a little bit. And just it's a good finish, good race. You can move it throughout the field, like you said. Multiple lines were being used. It wasn't just bottom hungry. It wasn't just middle hungry. It wasn't top hungry. You could use all 3 lanes, and according to how your car did, and according to how the drivers drove the cars. The tire wear was evident. I would like it to be a little bit more, and maybe that's just because, coming from Bristol last week where there was probably too much tire wear, to this race where it kind of it didn't look, I feel like to the common eye, and maybe to us at first, it didn't look like the tires wore as much as we thought, but then you kind of go look back and be like, yeah, the tires did matter. We come off a race at Bristol where the tires are cording every 40, 50 laps, and you go to this race where no tires are cording. You have some fall off, but it's just not as drastic as Bristol, and I'm glad. I don't want Bristol every week to that extent. I would like dumbed down version of Bristol every week, but I think New Hampshire just kind of, because where it was after we saw Bristol, I think it was just kind of, people didn't like the tire wear as much as I think it gave it credit for. Goodyear did another good job. No tire blowouts, nothing like that, and tires did matter. Track position matters, and track position is still king in this sport right now. If you get the track position, you can hang on for a good finish and keep track position and try to have a chance to win if you get lucky enough towards the end of the race. If you don't have the track position, without just working your ass off and getting up there and keeping it, it's going to be very difficult. Saw Chase Elliott did a good job all day of
A good job.
good job of working his way up through the field. Qualified shitty yet again, but he's able to get some stage points to stage 2. And then Allen, I love the call with them running it long and then getting that caution with Cody Ware to allow them to stay out on like only 10-lap older tires, 10-lap tires, and restarted second, finished 5th. He wasn't the best car all day. He didn't have a race-winning car, but he ran 7th to 10th all day, and this allowed him to get up a few positions higher, and I love that call. I don't understand why Chris Buescher and Scott Graves did not do the same thing, because they pitted around the same time, and Scott Graves had Chris pit with the rest of them after the caution happened. I don't understand that strategy at all. It didn't make any sense to me. Chris never had the greatest car all day, but if you gave him track position, I'm sure he could have done similar to what Chase Elliott did, get a solid top 10 at the end of the day maybe, but they chose not to. I don't know why, but they didn't, and so I was head-scratching there. But overall, just a solid New Hampshire race. This is not one I'll remember for Blaney winning and maybe for Ty and Denny. There were some memorable moments in this race, and for New Hampshire standards, that says a lot. You know, you don't think back, you don't really remember a whole lot of New Hampshire races in the past, at least in our lifetime, and never been a banger of a track, a banger race that people have to go to and stuff. But this one did about as good a job as it could. So I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Blaney winning obviously helps that out a little bit, but I thought the racing was good. You could move throughout the field. Very difficult, but that's New Hampshire. New Hampshire's always been hard to pass no matter what car you bring. You bring my Ford Ranger and your fucking Dodge Charger out there, and we'd be struggling on equal equipment. So, you know, overall, 7 out of 10, 7.5 out of 10, good race. And New Hampshire in this car seem, you know, we talked about the mile and a halves have helped. This car has helped the mile and a half racing. I think it's safe to say now, 3-4 years with this car at this track, I think this car has helped New Hampshire racing as well, because Gen 6 car was really not very good. Gen 5, not very good. Gen 4 was okay. So I think Gen 7 in New Hampshire, thumbs up.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it a little bit. We had the Denny and Ty Gibbs issue. They were kind of battling each other there. Really tough for the 11th, which didn't really expect to see Denny running 11th, which is kind of where he was all day.
It wasn't great.
But
all of JGR was a little bit off.
Yeah, Christopher Bell really surprising that he was back there, and
he had the best car at Toyota for sure, Joe Gibbs.
But he still wasn't great.
No, he
didn't have anything for the Penske guys.
No, I don't think he did either.
But I mean, so the 11 and the 54 were getting into it there. The 54 was running 11th. Denny was running behind him, and Denny was a little bit better than him, but Ty was doing his best to kind of run that higher line there and get the runoff, and Denny could never really make the pass happen, and 54 was kind of crowding him a little bit and chopping him a little bit and just making his life difficult, which, more power to him. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be doing that or he should be doing that, but you would think as a teammate that's not in the playoffs, you would not be racing your teammate that hard that's going to race for a championship, or at least trying to. So definitely understand Denny's frustration there. He was on the radio like, hey, what the fuck is this guy doing? Why is this guy racing me like this? Like, does this guy not have any respect? This, that, and the third, which, I'm not saying I'm on Denny's side or Ty's side on this, but I definitely get where Denny's coming from on that. You would expect, like I said, that guy to maybe not get out of the way, but at least give you a little bit of room. And if you're there, allow you to be there. But he got raced like he was just anybody else, which is kind of strange to see in a situation like that. But when you think back to Ty Gibbs in the Xfinity Series and how he raced his teammates, wrecking Brandon Jones, it's not really surprising that he would race Denny Hamlin this way. And then Denny wrecking him, I've seen plenty of people say that he did it on purpose. I don't think Denny wrecked him on purpose. I definitely do think Denny got into him on purpose and definitely did try to move him. To use a Dale Earnhardt quote, I don't think he meant to wreck him. I just think he wanted to rattle his cage a little bit, get him out of the way, and it ended up being being a wreck. And again, not saying that it was justified, but I definitely understand the frustration. I mean, hell, like I said, we've talked about it plenty of times on this podcast. iRacing is not the NASCAR Cup Series by any means, but when you're faster than the guy in front of you and he's just doing everything he can to stay in front of you, and you can get by him and drive away from him, temperatures run a little hot, and you're more likely to get into him. So I can understand.
I've never done that.
Okay. But you can understand Denny's frustration for sure, and definitely understand why he would want to move him a little bit. I think he just kind of overstepped it just a little bit too much and wrecked him. I don't think this deserves a penalty. I don't think it deserves NASCAR to look into it at all. I know some people are calling for that. I don't think it deserves that. I am more on Denny's side than I am on Ty's side, but I also understand Ty has a right to race the way he wants to race. If I'm Joe Gibbs in this situation, though, I'm more on Denny's side than I am Ty's side, because you can't play favorites just because he's your grandson. You have to look at it objectively, and objectively, Denny Hamlin is right now your best opportunity to win the championship. Ty Gibbs has zero chance. Then you got the 14 and the 20 that 14, also have. Huh? I do that at
19.
Yeah, the 19 and the 20. They have a pretty good shot at it as well. But I think right now Denny is the best shot for JGR to win the championship. And you would expect your non-playoff car to maybe not give way, but to show a little bit more respect for the guy that's going for the championship. So I would expect Joe Gibbs in this situation to take Denny's side. I don't think he will, but I think that's the best option for Joe to make this problem go away between his drivers.
My thing with this is obviously, I do not like Ty Gibbs at all. He's probably the least amount. He's the driver I would least likely see win a race in the Cup Series. It's close, but he's probably the bottom of the totem pole. Denny Hamlin, on the other hand, I don't hate Denny as much as I used to. So taking that aside, not putting that into consideration, any of this. Two teammates racing hard for 11th, and Denny goes in there and dumps his teammate. Whether you're racing for the playoffs or not, I don't like that move. I get the frustration, and I'm sure he did not mean to dump Ty Gibbs. But, when you hit somebody at a certain part of a corner, if you're a smart enough race car driver, which I give Denny Hamlin credit for, I think he's a pretty smart driver. I think he knows when he hit Ty Gibbs, there was a chance of him spinning out. So, on the other hand, I get Denny's frustration. Racing for a championship, this is your teammate that's not in the playoffs. And we're beginning of stage 2. I'm clearly faster than him. Why isn't he letting me go? What is his deal? He already saw what he was doing to Christopher Bell on the restart. They were racing hard 3 wide with, I think, Noah Gragson, Christopher Bell, and Ty Gibbs before this happened. And Ty Gibbs kind of door slammed Christopher because Christopher ran him up a little bit. Maybe squeezed him into the 4 a little bit, coming off a corner or so. And the 54 hit the 20 down the front stretch. It's like, that's another teammate that's in the playoffs and you're not. So maybe Denny saw that, and then he gets by the 20 and then tries to get past the 54, and he's making his life difficult. It's like, what the fuck is this guy's deal? So I get the frustration there. I think both guys are in the wrong here, and both guys are in the right. I think Ty Gibbs has every right to go out there and race as hard as he wants to against everybody in the field. He owes that to his sponsors. He owes that to his team and his fans to go out there and give 100% every lap. This is not the old days of NASCAR. We've known that for a while now. Nobody rarely ever gives up position just because they're faster than you. Because track position is so key, stage points, blah, blah, blah. I know 54 is not in the playoffs, but still. You don't have any you don't owe them anything to just roll over just because they're in the playoffs and you're not. So I get Ty's thing there. I get Denny's thing, though, that bro, I'm faster than you. I'm your teammate. Let me go, please. This is not battle for the win. This is not a battle for a top 3, top 5, or whatever. You know, this is a battle for 11th. Like, take it easy. Like, we're not racing for the win for your first career win. I get both sides. I think both guys are right and both guys are wrong in the situation. And if this wasn't a teammate and Denny does this, I think it's more of a headline, or maybe not more. I don't know. Well, what do you think if it wasn't a teammate? If say Denny does that to the 22?
Yeah, I mean, if it was Joey,
Because Joey has had known to race people hard.
Yeah, I think
is this more of a deal or less of a deal?
I get what you're saying. It's difficult to say whether it's more of a deal or less of a deal because on one hand it's your teammate, so that's what makes it a headline. Yeah. But if it's Joey Logano,
it's a playoff against
a
playoff
guy against a playoff guy. It's a two drivers that have had issues,
rivalries
in the past. So I think that would make it a headline as well. I think the thing that makes this more egregious and more of a bad look for Ty than it does Denny is, like you said, they're racing for 11th. If Ty Gibbs was doing this with 30 laps to go for 4th or for the lead,
100%.
Yeah, I mean, you can understand why he'd be racing like that. Like, we're coming down to the nitty-gritty, but we still got like 200 laps to go. You're racing for 11th. Like, let the fucker go. There's no reason to battle him that hard there. You're not racing for anything. Like, at all.
Well, I think Ty, he said it when he ran into the 20 down the front stretch. It's like, I'm done taking shit from these guys. And then you know what happened later? I think he was in the mindset of,
well, when he starts winning races,
fuck everybody else. I'm not letting anybody pass just because I'm not in the playoffs.
When you start winning races, you can drive like that. And,
I saw
he
like a
doesn't,
Ty Gibbs defender, and it's weird.
He doesn't have any...
He doesn't get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, he's not shown the ability to race with them. Yeah. So, like, why? Like, if his name was Ty Jones, he probably wouldn't be in that car next year.
Yeah, probably not.
But it's Ty Gibbs, so he's going to be there. Yeah. And he's not shown the ability to be consistently fast. Now, granted, he probably should have won Bristol.
I think that's another reason why, too. He was so close at winning last week, messed up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to try to give it everything I can this week because I cost my team possibly a win. I got to do everything I can.
But when you start pressing, that's when you start – I mean, you're going to run worse when you're pressing like that. And
NASCAR,
sometimes.
I think NASCAR is different than other sports.
There are some drivers where you can run too hard. And,
like Kyle Busch back in the day when he'd get like a speeding penalty or his pit crew
when you drive pissed off sometimes.
Yeah, Blaney's done that in the past.
But there are drivers
done that.
There are drivers that will start doing that and make mistakes as well.
That's fair.
Kyle Larson's one of those guys.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
There are drivers out there that can't do that. And Ty wasn't having a bad day.
Chase Elliott's not great at that.
He was running 11th.
Yeah.
But I don't think at that point of the race, where you're at in the season, what you have to gain, what you have to lose, it was smart for Ty Gibbs to put himself in that situation because I think let's change it. If it was Ty Gibbs blocking Joey or Ty Gibbs blocking Blaney or Ross or any of the other playoff guys, no one would have been surprised if they moved him. Mm-hmm. And that's all Denny was trying to do. If you're going to race me just like anybody else, you're going to get raced just like anybody else. And that's the way I look at it, and that's why I put it on Ty, because if you're going to put yourself in that situation to where, hey, I don't give a fuck who you are, I don't care who owns your car, I don't care what number's on the side of your door, I'm going to race you like an asshole, then you can't be mad when that guy then races you like an asshole. And you made the bed, you got to lay in it.
Well, did he race him or did he dump him?
He tried. He tried to pass him. He tried to pass him clean, and Ty kept, squeezing him and not letting him exit the corner and making his life difficult. I said, he has a right to do so. Yeah. I'm not saying that he did anything dirty, but I don't think Denny did anything dirty either. He tried to move him and he wrecked him on accident. Now, granted, the wreck was Denny's fault. I'm not saying that it wasn't, but I understand wholeheartedly why Denny did what he did and what he was trying to accomplish. And that is, again, what NASCAR racing has always been. It's the same argument as, that people try to use with us last year when Austin Dillon wrecked 5 guys in one corner to win a race. That's not what Denny did. Denny moved a guy, and the guy wrecked.
Are people comparing that?
I'm not. No, I haven't seen that. I'm just using that as an example of, like, people want to say, like, oh, NASCAR racing's always been wrecking people. No. But this has always been what NASCAR is. If that was a 3 with Earnhardt on the door, nobody would be surprised that move was made. If that was I'm not surprised. Denny.
That's what I'm saying. Denny's reputation doesn't give him the benefit of the doubt of saying, oh, I didn't mean to spin him.
Well, I don't think he did mean to spin him.
Maybe not, but like I said, I think that takes away Denny's, not credibility, but his knowledge. Like, Denny knows if you hit, he's been racing that track for 20 plus years.
Yeah, but
he knows when he hits somebody.
You also have to take into consideration this car. You have to fucking hit the fuck out of somebody at most places to wreck them.
Certain places.
Now, if you get them at the right spot,
you
get them at the right spot, sure. But I mean, you can look back to last week. I don't know if I've ever seen a car hit another car as hard as Brad Keselowski hit the 20 car. That guy didn't move.
That's fair.
So, like, I don't think he meant to wreck him. I don't think he cares that he wrecked him. Yeah. He knew it was a possibility, but I don't think he went into that.
I'm getting past you right now.
I'm putting my bumper to you, and whatever happens, happens. And I think that is kind of what NASCAR racing has always been. So that's why I'm not really blaming Denny in this. Denny's got a job to do. His job is to go win races. Ty Gibbs was doing something he felt was, I wouldn't say dirty, but he felt was driving him too hard. So he said, if you want to make this bet, I'm going to make you lay in it. And that's what happened.
Yeah, I think the interesting part of all this is the comments afterwards. Ty Gibbs didn't say anything to the mainstream media, NBC and stuff. I was ready to go out and race at Kansas, see if we can get a win. Denny Hamlin, kind of the same thing. We'll just see how it goes. I'm ready to go out there and try to see if I can win Kansas next week. But then the smaller reporters, Denny gave his side a little bit more to reporters, saying, the team will handle it. I'm good with whatever, but, I just don't understand why. When you got 3 guys fighting for a championship, we're put in a position like that. Again, I don't like that comment by Denny. Sounds like you're victimizing yourself when you clearly wrecked the 54 on purpose. Not on purpose, but you clearly wrecked them. Don't like that answer. But then Joe Gibbs comes out and says, yeah, we'll just let it. The drivers handle these situations, and we'll let them handle it again. And here's why I agree with Denny. I don't like Joe Gibbs' answer here. If this is 2 rival teams, rival cars, 100%. Let the drivers handle it. Different team owners, different goals, or same goal, but, let them handle it out on their own. It's like Cody Ware and Austin Dillon. Let them handle it. They're rival teams, had no affiliation with each other. Let them handle it. Joe Gibbs, you got 2 of your team cars that are not happy with each other right now. You can't expect them to handle it themselves. This is not boys have at it within a team. I mean, we saw this at Roush years ago with Matt and Carl Edwards, and it didn't end well. We've seen this before with Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon at Hendrick. It didn't end well. You're jeopardizing not your credibility, but your camaraderie with your own team based off 2 of your drivers, and one of them is your grandson that has not won yet in the Cup Series, that a lot of people say should not be in there right now based off what he's done so far. And you got a guy that has won 60 races or 59 races or whatever it is, that is going for his first championship, that has a great chance of doing it. You can't let them handle it themselves. And plus you got a 22-year-old who still acts like a brat sometimes, and then you got a 45-year-old veteran that knows these situations and knows how to handle things sometimes, but he sometimes has a tendency to lose his head as well. in certain situations. So, you can't let them handle it. You had to sit them down and be like, hey, we're going to get this resolved right now. Because you cannot have your team. Now, I would love to see this. I would love to see 54 go out there and wreck the 11 this weekend. I would laugh my fucking ass off. He's not going to do that. But if a team crumbles, it starts with shit like this, and especially in a playoff run. So, I don't like Joe Gibbs' answer saying, well, let the drivers handle it. If they're rival teams, I 100% let the drivers handle it out on the track. But when your teammates, one's a guy fighting for a championship, one's not, you got to get that resolved in-house before you hit the racetrack. So I'm on Denny's side. You need to let management handle this between the both of them. I'm not saying Denny and Tiny's go up there and just say a bunch of bullshit, like, yeah, whatever, sorry, and, don't mean it, and then they go out there and wreck each other again this weekend. But like, you got to get some type of agreement or some settlements that say, okay, I know what you did is wrong. What I did was a little bit wrong. Let's move past it. And I think they will ultimately. I don't think this will end up in anything dramatic. But in this situation, Joe Gibbs can't just say, hey, I'll let my two drivers handle it. That's not the best strategy in this situation.
Yep. So we'll see.
Yep. You got nothing else to add on that?
That's it.
How long is your passcode? It's like 25 fucking numbers.
6.
6? 6 my ass. Turn
the
the 6 upside down. It's a 9. It's 9 numbers. Round of 12. Give it to me, Riley. Blaney's winning. Yeah. He's winning right now.
He's already advanced.
He's advanced to the round of 8. Yeah, we got 11 other guys that are still fighting for a playoff spot. Tell me who they are and who's looking good and who ain't and who you worried about and who ain't.
So as we said, Blaney's already advanced. William Byron's in second, 47 to the good. Kyle Larson, 41 to the good in third. You got Christopher Bell, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Chase Elliott, and Briscoe. 29 to the good for Bell, 27 to the good for Hamlin, 24 to the good for Logano, 14 and 12 points to the good for Elliott and Briscoe, respectively. Guys below the cutoff line are going to be Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, Tyler Reddick, and Bubba Wallace. Starting at 12 points for Chastain, 19 points for Cindric, 23 for Reddick, and 27 for Wallace. That's pretty big hills to climb for a couple of those guys.
I can't believe how bad 2311 was at New Hampshire. They were awful.
They were
You
terrible.
thought RFK was bad.
Yeah.
2011 said, hold my beer.
They were really bad. Really, they're going to have to – they're going to really have to perform, which they're good at Kansas. So
Not recently.
Not recently, but, they're good at Kansas.
Yeah.
And then I think Reddick will be good at the Roval. So I think he's got a chance to work his way out of this. I think Bubba's in trouble. Even if he is good, I don't expect him to win the race this weekend. And
I think he's going to have to.
I
think he's in must-win territory.
Mathematically, he isn't.
I know,
but
but
he's
anybody
close.
expect him to win the Roval?
He's gonna have to get some serious stage points and finish top 10 this weekend, and hope people have trouble either this weekend or next to have a real shot at pointing his way in. But the problem is Briscoe will be good this weekend. He'll be good at the Roval. Chase Elliott will be good this weekend. He'll be good at the Roval. Logano will be good this weekend. The Roval, hit or miss. When I say good, I mean he'll be good enough. Hamlin, Bell, Larson, Byron, Blaney. I mean, Blaney doesn't really matter because he's already advanced. I mean, there's really not anybody. I mean, we could argue Joey Logano not going to be great this weekend. He'll probably be the worst of the top 8. But, I mean, it's not. I mean, he's 24 to the good, so he can afford to miss out on some stage points and finish top 15. I mean, and he'll still be somewhat all right.
Unless Reddick wins.
Unless Reddick wins or unless Bubba wins. But Cindric, I don't expect him to be good this weekend. I mean, he was a no-show this.
I think Cindric's the easiest one saying he's done.
I mean, he was a no-show this weekend, and the Penske cars probably
all of them except for him.
probably should have finished 1, 2, 3. And Ross. I mean, he
won this
he
race
won
last
Kansas. He won, yeah, that's right. Yeah, he won Kansas last year. He won at Charlotte this year. So I mean, they've got speed at mile and a halfs, but it's so inconsistent. You don't know how that's going to go. I picked Chase, right, to miss it. I think my 3 were Reddick or Wallace, Cindric, Ross, Elliott, right? I think that's right.
Yeah,
we don't have our book in front of us because we're not in the studio, but it's. I think it's going to be. Yeah, I was right. So Wallace, Cindric, Ross, and Briscoe or Elliott were the 4 I picked to miss. So as of now, I do think one above will miss it and one below will make it. But I'm not exactly sure who that's going to be because of stage points and whether or not Reddick's going to be good this weekend, which I think they will be. So it's going to be tight for Wallace if he wants to make it on points. It's going to be tight for Reddick if he wants to make it on points because I don't think they're going to be, if they are good, I don't think they're going to be so much better than the guys in front of them that they can make up 27 points, 23 points respectively, unless guys have problems. Mm-hmm. I think, like you said, I think Cindric's the one that you can look at and be like, he is in real trouble because he's not going to be better than those guys.
No, I agree. For the most part, Joey, I think he was the biggest winner out of this weekend. And he came in below the cut line. New Hampshire in this Gen 7. 6, 7. Ah, damn. I said it. But he won the weekend. I know Blaney won the race, but I think he did the best for his playoff opportunities. Like I said, in the Gen 7 car, he'd never been great at New Hampshire. Hadn't been bad, but he came out and won Stage 2, gained a lot of stage points, finished top 5. That's win-win-win for the 22 team. And going to 2 tracks now where the 22 team has really struggled in recent years. The Kansas hadn't been great there in the Gen 7 car. Then you go to the Roval, same thing. He's never been great at the Roval. So he's got a buffer. He's going to have to lean on that buffer. Unless somebody ahead of him just has a catastrophic weekend this weekend, which that can happen. We've seen Kansas have some wrecks on restarts. That's what's causing me for concern because I feel like somebody is going to have a bad day and wreck this weekend. I just don't know who it is. It might be Bell. It might be Larson. I think I'm leaning more towards Larson. This track, last time we came here was the last time he showed dominant speed and won the race. If he's not good here this weekend, and he was pretty good in New Hampshire. Every time. Because of the double.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Fuck. Scream. But if Larson doesn't come out here and have hiccups, you ever thought about that in a race car? If you have the hiccups while you're driving,
I don't think they do because I think they're so focused on what they got going on that their body won't allow.
Well, I'm focused on saying my point in this podcast, but it ain't working. That's very distracting. But I think I'm good. You made me good. You walked away, you put all the pressure on me. But no, if Larson comes out this weekend and he doesn't have race-winning speed and not running top 3, I could see him busting his ass just trying to get everything he can because he hasn't had race-winning speed in a long time. Like I said, long time. Minus Gateway. He did lead some laps in New Hampshire, got there and led some laps, but then immediately fell back. So I can see Larson busting his ass and putting himself in a little bit of a hole going to the Roval. The good thing is for Larson fans, he's good at the Roval, so he should be fine. Even if he gets put in a tight points battle going to the Roval. But again, the Roval, anything can happen. So, yeah, I think Ross is the wild card here. He's been hit or miss at this track. I'll say he won this race last year. In the spring, I don't really ever remember seeing him in the spring. I could be wrong. He could have ran top 10. I'm sure he did. But he wasn't. And he had a good run this weekend in New Hampshire. But that's where playoff points come into so big of a factor. He only had one win. He might have had 1 or 2 stage wins this year. And when you get to the playoffs round of 12, top 10s might not do it for you if you hadn't got a lot of stage points or playoff points to your credit at this point in time. So Ross is a wild card. He can go out there and win. He can go out there and run 15th, 20th, and kind of be must win it at the Roval next weekend. So for Bubba and Reddick, I think Reddick is not in must win yet because he's very good at the Roval. But I think Bubba is in must win territory this weekend. They have to go out there and say, hey, this is do or die. You might as well make this a cutoff race if you're Bubba Wallace here in this team. That's your mindset going into this weekend. And that's a dangerous mindset. It can work out good for them or it can work out bad. Work out good to where you put all the chips, you going all in on this race, and you bring out the fastest car imaginable, and you go out there and run top 3 all day and win the race. Boom, you're in a round of 8. Or you go the other way. Put all this pressure on your team. They make a few mistakes on pit road. Bubba makes a few mistakes on restarts. He spins out, gets in a wreck, trying to get all he can. Your playoffs pretty much over. So, and then Cindric, I don't see it in that team. He won at Talladega earlier in the year. If he doesn't win that race, he's not in the playoffs. He's running better this year for at least the start of the year. He was running pretty good, but the summer months he's really fell off, and I just don't see that 2 team. I mean, like you said, you go into New Hampshire and all 3 your team cars are running top 3 for a lot of the race, and your teammate wins, and your other teammate finishes 4th, and your other teammate finishes 2nd, and you run 15th to 20th all day. Like, I've had that frustration with Chase Elliott before. He's had a few of those races before, so I get that frustration. But 2 tracks, that Gen 7 car with Cindric's not been good at road courses. He's been good. He's a good road course racer, but not with this car. So he had a good run, a couple road course races this year. So he could run good at the Roval, but I got to see it to believe it. But it's just, I think it all comes down to who makes the mistakes at the top end. And I said it was chalk to start this round of 8 or round of 12, and I had Logano was below it. I don't feel great about that now. Just because Logano, I think he's a smart enough driver and they're a good enough team to pull strategy moves to gain stage points. If they don't have a good run or have a good car, they can get stage points and maintain their points or not lose a whole lot of points. So the bottom 4 right now, I mean, I think Reddick could win. And I guess Ross could win too, but I think they might have to, especially Ross. I don't think Ross can be that great at the Roval. So it's, again, another points position where it might not be that close going to the Roval. We had the round of 16 look like it might be close after Darlington. It didn't. Gateway really widened it out, and it kind of became really easy at Bristol. It could be the same thing here. New Hampshire, problem is the first race kind of widened it out more than I thought it would be, and you got Kansas it'll be a good race, according to how everything goes. But right now, I'd say the bottom 4 are going to miss it. Reddick hadn't won a race all year. Don't know why they would be able to not show race winning speed, because they've had race winning speed, but be able to execute a whole race. They haven't been able to do that all year. Even when they've had race winning speed, they've not been able to put a full race together. And you can hear Tyler Reddick in his interviews for most of the year. He's just frustrated. He's like, we can't put a full race together. So I think the bottom 4 right now are going to miss the round of 8 right now. But the one guy that I can see falling back would be Joey, just because he's not great at Kansas or the Roval in this car. So, but like I said, I think it might be a top guy that we're not thinking of that had the problem at Kansas or the Roval, and he gets very close. We see it every year. A top guy, he'll be fine on points, goes out there and gets in a wreck or blows a motor or whatever, mechanical problem, something, and it causes him to get really close going to the last race, and then it puts a lot of pressure on that team. They collapse. So we'll see. But I think the bottom four will miss it.
Yeah, you said it. We'll see.
You lose your voice? I'm hiccuping, you're losing your voice? That's hot.
I'm good. I'm blue. I would beat off a guy.
I would beat off a guy. I would beat off a guy.
What's next? Are we hitting that button?
Yeah, for RTT.
Hit that button.
Ripping the topics.
Hit that button for ripping the topics. First segment on RTT this week. Connor Zillich has a new crew chief in the Cup Series. What's his name? Say my name.
Burnett. He is Kyle Busch's current crew chief. He's been at RCR for a long time. He got Tyler Reddick his second Xfinity Series championship in 2019. So he's been with the company for a long time. He started off with Reddick with his Cup career as well, I believe. He's had a lot of wins with RCR, considering how bad RCR has been the past decade and a half. He's got a lot of wins for them. But clearly, since they won that race at Gateway 2.5 years ago, they have just not been able to put together him and Kyle Busch for whatever reason. And I think this is a huge win for Randall Burnett, going to a guy that I think has Kyle Busch level talent. I truly do think that with Connor Zillich. Now, Cup Series, different animal. We'll see how he does next year. But, Trackhouse, they really good at road courses. They win races every year now. They're consistent winners. I think they're a better organization right now than RCR. So I think this is an upgrade for Randall Burnett. Do I think he's a great crew chief? Not necessarily, but I don't think he's a bad crew chief. I just think Kyle Busch just not being able to get comfortable and adjusted to this car. Kyle Busch is going out of it. He's out of his prime now. That's clear. I just think it kind of just fell apart at RCR for Randall and Kyle. I don't even know where I was going with that. But I think this is a win for Randall. We'll have to see about if it's a win for Trackhouse and Connor. But he's a veteran crew chief. He knows how these cars drive, how to set them up. Not set them up great, but at road courses, Kyle Busch has still been pretty solid, and that's Connor's strength. And I think that's what Trackhouse is going for right now. So Connor Zillich, got a great guy to set up good road course setups for him. Everything else we'll have to see, but I think this is a win. I give this move for Randall probably an A-, and for Trackhouse I give it like a B. Still solid, both ends. I think it'll work out relatively well for both ends.
Yeah, I think as far as Trackhouse goes, I don't think you can be super picky as far as crew chiefs go. I don't think you can get the cream of the crop just yet. Now I think, being able to sell, hey, you're going to be working with Connor Zillich is a selling point. But I just don't know if their cars are good enough at this point to get the top of the line guys. And I'm not trying to disrespect Randall. I'm not saying he's a bad crew chief by any means. I don't think he is, but he's not, the cream of the crop either. But I think it'll be
he's not Adam Stevens.
Yeah.
He's not what's Larson's crew chiefs? What's his fucking name? I could tell you if you weren't doing this podcast right now. Do you know his name?
No. I could tell you
Cliff
if you
Daniels.
didn't ask me.
Cliff Daniels.
Why was I going to say Cole Pern?
That's not.
Good crew chief.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad.
Who's he running with?
Nobody.
Yeah, I mean, I think Randall's good, not great. I think those cars are good, not great. But I think Zillich is great. So I could see them having a similar season to like what Carson's having next year. Very competitive, maybe makes some mistakes here or there. Crew chief lets him down here or there. Team lets him down here or there. Driver makes a mistake here or there. But overall, very competitive, but, don't really get the finishes they deserve a lot of the time. That's kind of what I'm seeing out of this team next year, what I think is going to happen. I think Randall has a shot here to develop with a driver, in kind of like he was doing with Reddick, which seems to be his strength, working with a younger guy, not one that's so much set in his ways. I think it'll be a good move for Randall because I think that 8 team is just stuck in the mud right now. I think that 8 team's got to try something different, whether it be crew chief or driver, probably both, if it was a perfect world. It's interesting to see. I know that's the next point. We're going to talk about who's next for the 8 car, but I think I don't know if this is like the home run move that it could have been for Connor, but it's also not a bad move either.
Well, who would be the home run move for Connor?
Well, there is a free agent crew chief right now that doesn't have a job, that has recently mutually parted ways with Spire Motorsports.
Gil Martin.
Yes. I think what the fuck's his name?
Rodney Childers.
Yeah, Rodney Childers. I think Rodney Childers is best available crew chief on the market. I think that would have been my number one choice. But we don't know if he's already got plans for next year or if he's done or whatever. But
he says he's not done. He don't want to be done.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with him. There is a pretty high-profile older driver that is now looking for a crew chief based on this move.
Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, and we know that Rodney has succeeded with older drivers in the past. So if I'm RCR, which I guess we can get into the next topic here, if I'm RCR, that's going to be my first phone call.
Yeah.
Try to pair on that 8 car.
Yeah, I think Rodney would be the best fit for Kyle. We saw Rodney with younger drivers. That's why I don't know if the home run hit would have been Rodney with Connor. I'm sure it would have worked, but I just don't know how well it would have worked.
He's a lot better than Justin Haley.
That's true. But we saw, Rodney last year at Stuart Haas, him with Josh Berry, and they weren't great. They had some decent runs here and there, but it wasn't great for Rodney and Josh and Rodney and Justin. What we saw, it wasn't great either. But so I think, I agree with you. I think a veteran driver in Kyle Busch and a veteran crew chief in Rodney Childers, which they've been bitter rivals, throughout the 2010s, with Harvick and Rodney and Kyle at JGR. They were the top 2 in the sport for most of the 2010s. And, if they got paired up together, Kyle Busch out of his prime, clearly, struggling with the car. Rodney seemed like he doesn't have a great grip on this car, but he did get Kevin Harvick first year of this car 2 wins in the playoffs. And Harvick last year obviously didn't quite get the job done, but he had chances to win a few races there. Harvick's last year, so I think Rodney would be my first option if I was RCR and Kyle Busch. But the problem is RCR's always been a family-owned thing. They hire from within. They're a mom-and-pop shop organization. They like to hire from within, give younger guys a chance, give older guys that haven't got the opportunity, give them a chance. So I could see them doing that, putting them with Kyle. I want to know how much input, because Kyle Busch only has 1 year left on his contract after this year. Next year is his last year at RCR as far as contract goes. He could extend, obviously. But I think that'll really tell how much Kyle has input on who he wants his crew chief to be. I'm pretty sure he would love to have Rodney Childers. Maybe not. Maybe that is he don't see them working together. But my thing is, who else? You kind of got. I'm kind of the same thing with the Trackhouse thing with you and Zillich. Like, who else you gonna get? Like, RCR's not a great organization right now. I mean, they could go steal somebody from Junior Motorsports, but I think Richard Childers will go get a crew chief from the Xfinity Series, their Xfinity Series program, before they get a guy from Junior Motorsports or a guy from Joe Gibbs or Tricon Garage and like a Scott Zipadelli in the Xfinity or in the Truck Series that has got Corey Haim a million wins this year. But I think RCR will hire from within. So I can see Justin Alexander maybe being that guy. If they want to go out in a big limb, they could go try to get Cole Pern. I don't know if Cole Pern would want to work with Kyle Busch, but that's an option. They're both former Toyota guys. That might be an option. If Alan Gustafson gets the can, I'm sure RCR will try to get Alan Gustafson, considering Alan and Kyle worked together back in the day at Hendrick when Kyle Busch was in his first couple of years in the Cup Series in that 5 car. So they have prior knowledge of each other, of working together. So I could see that happening. Now, it's according to how the rest of this year goes for the 9 team and Alan. If they make another round of 8, I don't see Hendrick getting rid of Alan. But say Chase just kind of fumbles down the stretch and, again, kind of just doesn't have race-winning speed like his teammates. Now, to be fair, Hendrick hadn't had race-winning speed a lot the past month and a half, 2 months. So, but if Chase falters down the stretch here, I could see Hendrick kind of dropping Allen. But the problem is I don't think Allen, they're going to fire Allen. They'll just demote him and kind of do what they did with who was Denny's crew chief for years, Chris Gabehart.
Yeah.
I see him doing kind of like director of operations or whatever Chris is now. I can see Hendrick doing that, so Allen might not be on the table, but that'd be an interesting move if Hendrick does let Allen go. So I think Rodney and Kyle would work. I just don't know. They're both at the end of their life. Now, if they hire Rodney and Kyle's like, hey, it's my last year next year, would Rodney do that? I don't know if he would. I think Rodney would like to be like, hey, I want to be with a guy for at least a couple of years. Because I don't think Rodney would be like, all right, I'm going to do 1 year with Kyle Busch and
then have to start over again.
And be the crew chief for fucking Jesse Love or somebody, or
Austin Hill
or somebody in 2 years. I don't think he'd want to do that.
Yeah, I agree. I think in a perfect world it would be Childers. I don't know if it will be, but I think that's the number one call for RCR to make. But like you said, they do like to hire in-house, so that's probably what they'll do if Childers is not on the table. But, there's still a lot of moves that are probably going to happen that we're unaware of.
There's Daniel Suarez's crew chief now that's obviously not going to be at Trackhouse next year, and Lazarski, or however you say his name, Matt Lazarski or whatever his name is. Do you see him going to RCR, kind of just a switch?
I don't know. I mean, it could happen. I think, like I said, I think there's more to be done. I think there's a lot of guys that have struggled this year that you wouldn't have thought of that, teams might make some crew chief moves on, thinking that might be the issue. So, I think it's too early to tell, what's going to happen. I think the crew chief silly season is going to be way more crazy than the driver silly season is going to be. So I think we just got to be patient and see what other moves are going to happen.
Austin Hill's crew chief this year is Chad Haney, who his first year of crew chiefing with Austin, but he's got 30 years of motorsports experience. Maybe him.
It's a possibility.
We'll see.
I'll give you Jesse. I can't remember his name. I know his name. Danny Stockman.
He's been around.
He's been a long time.
Danny's been around a long time.
He could get the nod. I think he Didn't he ever get the nod to be Austin Dillon's crew chief at the Cup Series? And I know he was Austin Dillon's crew chief when he won the championship in the Xfinity Series.
I think
in 13.
he's been the.
Or has he just been strictly an Xfinity guy?
I thought he was just an Xfinity guy.
But it could be waiting his turn in the wings. Richard's like, here you go. Here's your chance.
No, you're right. He was Austin Dillon's crew chief in 2019.
And that season did not go well.
No.
So I think
6
he got
top tens. That's all he had that year.
Yeah, I think he got fired or
which
something.
he
or not fired, but he got demoted back to the Xfinity Series.
yeah, but like you said, I mean, he was Austin Dillon's crew chief, Ty Dillon's crew chief, Brandon Jones, Paul Menard, crew chief to race for Ben Kennedy in the Xfinity Series, Sam Hornish Jr. He was Daniel Hemrick's crew chief 2017, 2018, and he's been the crew chief for Jesse Love for the past 2 years. Done a lot of stuff in the Cup, the Truck Series as well. Was Nick Sanchez's crew chief, Chandler Smith's crew chief. He's done a lot. He's been around, but
If I had to put money on it, I think I'd put Danny Stockman as the guy. Or they could. I don't think they would.
what if RC gets up there and just says, "I'm gonna start crew chief in this bitch"?
They just put Danny with Austin and put Austin's crew chief with Kyle.
I think Ryan Preece is crew chief. Derek Finley's safe. I think he's done a relatively good job. But like you said, Scott Graves, Brad's crew chief, Jeremy Bullins. I think they should have hot seats. I think there's some guys out there on big name teams.
Go get Billy Napier.
He's going to be available.
will
hell,
be.
what's his name just got fired?
Mike Gundy.
Mike Gundy.
Yeah.
He's a man. He's 50, 5 now probably, almost 60. But he got fired. But
He got some. He looked like he could be a good NASCAR troop.
he
He
probably
got the
could do
mullet,
it.
got
Yeah,
everything.
He could get it done.
Couldn't be worse than fucking. He wouldn't bring Brad Keselowski down pit road under caution
That's fair.
when it closed pit.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's next on the docket?
That's a great question. The fact that Clemson sucks at football. Is that on there?
We suck. Next.
So do we. Legacy and Rick Ware reach a settlement. Tell us about it.
Yeah, last week, Friday afternoon, I believe, Legacy and Rick Ware said they agreed to terms on their settlement that happened earlier in the year, where Legacy was suing Rick Ware, and Rick Ware countersued Legacy for false information of a charter that Rick Ware was selling to them. Legacy said the agreement was for 2026. Rick Ware said no, it's for 2027, and some other legal terms along the way. But that's a cute dog.
Yeah.
But it's good to see a settlement in one of these lawsuits. Now, the big settlement, the 2311 front row against NASCAR, I don't think that'll go as smoothly as this one did. But it seems like they have an agreement. Now, we don't know the details of it yet. It's not been relayed to the public on what the agreement was or settlement was. So it kind of puts your team, RFK, in a little bit of a bind just because we don't know the details of this agreement. What I'm guessing is Rick Ware has agreed to sell their charter to Legacy at the end of 2026, not the end of this year, going into 2027. So that gives RFK another year to lease that other Rick Ware charter that Ryan Preece is driving right now for next year. But after that, it's really interesting to see where this goes, because Rick Ware says he's going to stay in the Cup Series. Steve Butcher or whatever his name is said they're going to continue to be in the Cup Series. They want to be a 2 or 3 car team in the future with full charters. So they don't seem like they're trying to get out of the sport right now with charters, but the math ain't mathing if that's the case. Roush is going not in a pickle right now, it seems like, but they could be in a pickle starting next year, trying to figure out what happens with their third car, that third charter. I say this to you, Riley, but what I have, if RFK can't figure out what to do, I think Brad Keselowski retires.
And then they go back to 2 teams.
At the end of next year. It makes it kind of simple. Okay, here you go.
Or they field an open car.
Or they do an open car, and there's an all-star car, and Brad runs it every now and then or whatever. But, RFK's in this too. That, I'm glad to see a settlement. I'm glad they don't take it. Look, I mean, we already got enough lawsuit shit on our hands right now. But, yeah, I think Rick Ware is just an interesting team. I just don't know where they're. Now, I get they agreed to this before they sold most of their stake to the new guy. So they're kind of in a rock and a hard place right now in between what they want to actually do in the Cup Series. And this is what happens when you kind of get leadership in a company that's going 2 different directions. And Rick Ware's kind of in a pickle right now. And it puts other teams in a pickle like an RFK that, hey, what the fuck? We had an agreement and leased one out. Now you're selling your other one, but you still want to keep a charter in the Cup Series starting 2027. Where does that leave us? So it's kind of a messy situation. I'm glad they got most of this figured out, but this thing ain't over yet. It's according to how the details lined up when we get the details in the coming weeks or months or whenever it is. Of how this agreement goes, because then that puts RFK could put RFK in a bad situation, and that's your team. So I'll let you speak on it.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of been talking about this since all this talk between Rick Ware and Legacy has started. That Roush is kind of going to be the one that takes the brunt of this negatively, anyway, and. I'm not exactly sure what this means. I do think that I think Roush wants 3 charters. And I think if they could buy one for a reasonable sum, they would. And they would field 3 cars, regardless of whether or not Brad's racing or not. I think it makes sense financially for Brad. I think he said as much for them to field 3 cars. Especially with the sponsorship that they have now with Kroger and still having Fastenal, Build Submarines. Like, these cars are funded. They're funded. They have, they don't have Ford Performance on the hood ever. They don't have RFK on the hood ever. It's these cars are sponsored every week, and so I think financially it makes sense for Brad to have 3 charters if possible. Hopefully they do. Hopefully this doesn't negatively affect them as far as fielding 3 cars, but it seems like it's gonna. It seems like there's going to be some work that RFK needs to do to keep fielding 3 chartered race cars past next year. So we'll see. Rick Ware is or at least used to be a satellite team of Roush. I think we still are, right?
I think so.
They still work pretty closely with us, and that might help in some way. Pretty sure that's probably how this lease agreement started to begin with. Was the relationship that they have between the 2 teams. So hopefully they can figure out a way to get a 3rd charter. But it seems like it's going to be an uphill battle, and hopefully it isn't too difficult, because I like the fact that we have 3 race cars. I like the fact that Ryan Preece is there. I like Chris Buescher. I like Brad. Even if Brad's close to retirement, I get that, but there's no one that I can see taking his spot. So worst case scenario, like you said, I mean, it might be the 17 and the 60. They'd probably change that 60 to the 6 if they only ran 2. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully they keep fielding 3 cars, but I think like I said, I think it's an uphill battle from here to make that happen.
One other quick note about it is they agree to this, and you've still got the big lawsuit on hand, where charters might not even exist, according to how this lawsuit goes. in December. So that's another thing to kind of keep in the back of your mind, where it might not really matter at the end of the day, and that would be interesting to how all these agreements and the satellite teams with certain things, and you can borrow my charter, I can borrow your charter, I can use your team, you can use my team. You know, this all could be completely flipped upside his head in December, because all this might not be the same lingo and how NASCAR is run if the lawsuit goes towards 2311 in front row. And that's another thing to keep in the back of your mind as well.
It's true.
NASCAR 25.
What you thinking?
It's a game.
It is. It releases in about a month.
Less than a month.
Yep.
3.5 weeks or so, 3 weeks.
They had a trailer came out last week. Then they put out some gameplay footage.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
The physics look pretty good. Overall, the way it looks, I would like for it to look a little bit better, but I get it. It's iRacing's first attempt at a console video game. I don't know. I still have faith in it that it'll be a good game, and I'm going to buy it for sure. I'm just afraid you get closer and closer. We were fired up when they announced this last year and beginning of this year, whenever they announced it. And we still have hope. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. And
We've just been burned so many fucking times.
yeah, you get closer and closer to it, and the trailer wasn't as good as I was hoping. It wasn't bad, and I'm not going to base a whole video game off a trailer.
Can I tell you what it looks like to me real quick?
Yeah.
It looks like NASCAR Heat 6.
That was I don't like the graphics.
Everybody's talking about it. Looks great. It looks okay.
It looks okay. For a next
It looks like
gen,
NASCAR Heat 6.
For a next gen console game made in 2025, I expected it to look a little bit better. The physics and stuff, it'll race pretty well. I'm not.
Yeah, but which you don't know.
that.
You can't tell based off of a trailer or
And like you
watching
said,
somebody play the game.
Like you said, closer and closer to it, you just get more and more doubt in your mind of, man, this game might suck. And nothing's giving me that option of it or the thought of it's going to suck. But, and like I said this at the beginning. I said, give me a playable NASCAR game that's fun to play, that races well, and it's not broken in certain aspects. The game doesn't glitch out, or replays just fuck up, or cautions break the game and stuff like that. You can give me that, I can be satisfied. But I was expecting a little bit more, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope I come out and it looks better than I thought it did. And it's the gameplay itself. Maybe that clip's been used 45 million times.
Yeah, and the compression when they put it on YouTube and everything.
So that's my thing too. I think it might not look as bad as what we think it does when everybody else says it looks great. I don't think it looks great, but it doesn't look bad. But I thought it would look better than what we got. But happy we finally got gameplay footage. Like I said, we're 3.5 weeks out. I'm excited, but I am getting more nervous by the day because, like you said, we've been burned by this this damn fire too many damn times.
There's a couple things that I love. The screenshots from the career mode, I think, look awesome. The black and white ARCA car, no sponsor on it, sitting in somebody's driveway. I think that looks awesome. Shades of NASCAR 2004. When you first start, NASCAR Dirt to Daytona, career mode, kind of that Dirt to Daytona feel, right? That from nothing to something aspect of the career mode. I love it. I think the cars themselves and the tracks and the surrounding environment of the racetracks look pretty good. There are parts of the game. I know a lot of the guys. I watched Jeff Faviano's video. I watched a couple other guys posted. I'm forgetting which one. I watched so many of them. I watched most of them that I could
reflection of lights off of the car look really good. There's a lot of good stuff that I see coming out of this game. There's a few drawbacks that I see that I don't know if they're going to be game-breaking, but I noticed them. The spotter, I hate. I hate because it's AI generated.
Yeah.
It's TJ Major's voice, but it's AI.
Yeah.
And he says some weird shit that's like, it's like somebody that if you explain to them what they're supposed to say, but they don't know anything about NASCAR. That's kind of how it sounds to me, which it's AI. So it kind of makes sense. I get it. I understand why they went with that. I think it will, there'll be some positives to it. It won't be as repetitive as a lot of the spotters and stuff have been over the course of, NASCAR games. But it's going to say some weird shit to me that it just doesn't make a ton of sense about why it's saying it and, the verbiage that they use. Another thing that I've seen that hasn't really made a ton of sense to me is everybody's saying that the physics looks good.
It still looks a little ping-pongy.
Not a lot.
That
and the way that I don't know if this could definitely just be the way that these guys are driving the cars. It could be definitely user issue, but the way that the throttle works on the game looks weird to me. Like a lot of times you'd see a guy. I noticed it a lot in Jeff Faviano's video. He would drive into the corner, he'd jump off the throttle, he'd get in, and he'd throttle up, and it was almost like he was full throttle, off throttle, wah, 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 and then he'd throttle down. Like there was no gradual application of the throttle, there was no, quarter throttle, there was no, just give a little bit here and get off the corner and then throttle down.
Which the Utechnics games nailed that aspect.
Yeah.
The Utechnics games had its issues. But the driving aspect of it, the got to play with the throttle, you overdrive it, you going to fucking go in the wall.
And this could be a sound issue as well.
Yeah, it could be.
Because I noticed it most auditorily was you get into the corner, you hear them jump off the throttle, wah, and then it would wah, 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 down the back stretch. I know that's just perfect example of what a motor sounds like, but that's what it sounded like. And that kind of has got me. I don't know if it's because they're just so tight and, the base setups are tight, which a lot of times they are. And they're just trying to throttle up too early, which is why they're having to jump out of it. And my dog, sorry, I apologize if you heard that. My dog's being a bitch. She is a bitch, female dog. So I'm not gonna say that it's not a good game based on that, because obviously it could be the way that they're driving it. They're driving it on a controller. Most of these guys are used to driving video games, racing games with steering wheel and pedal. So it could be user error. It could be just an auditory issue that, that for some reason they can't get the sound to match how much throttle they're giving the car. It could be setup. And who knows? But right now, I'm cautiously optimistic about this game. I do think it's going to be better than a lot of the games we've gotten in the past 10 years. But to be fair, the bar is not that high. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. A couple other things that kind of bother me: Mexico City not being in the game, Portland not being in the game bothers me because of scheduling. When I play a NASCAR career mode, I want the season to play out correct.
Where are they racing in Mexico City and Portland?
Don't know.
I
don't know if they're going to put a second race at Richmond or whatever.
Homestead or something like that.
Who knows? But or
third race at Phoenix.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows what they're going to do? Or they're going to have to do something, because it can't be a 35 race season in the Cup Series. But we'll see what happens with that. But I get how they just scanned those tracks. They're just now getting into iRacing. So it's possible that we get those in an update. Yeah. But, I'm going to buy the game day one. I'm going to play it a bunch, and I'm probably going to make it to that Mexico City race pretty quickly. So if it's not updated and in the game, it's going to be interesting to see what happens there as far as, what track they put that week on the schedule. So there are some good points to it. There's some bad points to it, but, we're not going to know until, we get our hands on it in a month, and we'll tell you ourselves.
Yep. Well, hit that button for Attaboy.
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 Attaboy time.
Hit that button.
Yep, hit the button. My Attaboy from New Hampshire, Homestead
Don't
North.
take mine. Please don't take mine.
I'm going to give mine...
Come on, pick the low-hanging fruit.
2311?
Yes.
Nah, my Attaboy for New Hampshire, give me Spire Motorsports in general. Car Hocevar top 11. I think he got 11th or 12th. And then
11. And the fastest lap.
Yeah, and then Michael McDowell got 9th. So we saw a couple weeks ago with the Legacy Motorclub cars kind of being the playoff spoilers, running really good at Darlington and Gateway and Bristol. Yikes.
Justin Haley finished 33rd, by the way.
He got in a wreck. Remember, his whole fucking hood was missing. He got involved in that Brad Keselowski wreck.
I don't recall.
Yeah. But, no, Spire did a great job kind of being the playoff spoiler guys. Car Hocevar, he had a great short run car. Probably had the best short run car of the race, other than maybe Joey. I hate you. But, I got it. Motherfucker. Fuck you, motherfucker. Fuck you. You gonna do this shit right? You ain't gonna hiccup one more fucking time. You hear me? I'm gonna chop your fucking nuts off, you fucking pussy. Went away. Just threaten yourself. But, yeah, Spire did a great job on Sunday.
I'm concerned for your mental health.
What?
Keep going.
I can't talk to myself? You want to talk to yourself?
Yeah.
Anyway, Spire Motorsports, great job on Sunday. 2 cars in the top 11. Car so far was a top 10 car all day. Fell back towards the end a little bit, gained a little bit back. I think he took 4 tires on that last pit stop. Lost a little bit of track position, couldn't quite get it back to where he was running edge of top 10 all race long and top 5 at some point. So, yeah, good job for Spire. They continue to show a gradual climb. Usually it's been Carson. Mike McDowell's been really good at certain tracks, road courses a lot of the time, a few ovals here and there, but both of them had good speed all weekend, and it showed on Sunday getting 2 top 11 finishes, not in the playoffs, nothing really to race for other than race wins, and they did a great job, and had top 5-ish, top 10-ish speed all day long, so yeah, in a race where it's kind of dominated by playoff guys, they were the team that kind of stood out and said, "Hey, we're not part of the playoffs, but we can hang with y'all." And they did a great job of that on Sunday.
Josh Berry should have won the race.
So, well, he was just in the playoffs, jackass, and he's a Penske affiliated team, same car pretty much. So, yeah, Attaboy, Spire Motorsports.
Spire's a RCR team.
Yeah, what RCR do?
They got one in the playoffs.
It wasn't their team, though.
Playoffs. Well, I'm glad you didn't take mine. I actually had 2. But to give my honorable mention to Shane Van Gisbergen, he qualified, fucking 8th? Let me make sure I'm right on that. Qualified 10th. My man was top 5 at the end of stage 1. I don't know. I don't have words to explain because that's super, super surprising to me.
Ross was good all day too.
Well, that's fair, but it's Shane Van Gisbergen. Like we don't expect him to be good at any oval, much less New Hampshire. And New Hampshire's a tough track when you go there with not a ton of experience. Even guys with a lot of experience, which you would consider
better equipment. I would at least. I think the 60 car is better week in, week out than SVG is. And Ryan Preece has an awful lot of experience at New Hampshire, being a Northeast modified guy. But Shane showed up there and was good. If he wouldn't have got wrecked, which we'll talk about that in the next segment, I will at least. I don't know if you're going to take mine from me or not, but I'm going first.
I was about to say, that's not possible.
Before he got taken out, he was a race-winning car. He was running 5th on speed and had made passes, obviously, past Ryan Blaney at one point. And, was running up there.
He was trying to pass Josh Berry.
Yeah, was there and was doing well. And
spun Josh out.
That's fair. It was 100% on. It wasn't 100% on him. That was kind of
80-20.
It's kind of a racing deal, but obviously not dirty. But just did a really good job. But I'm actually going to give mine to Josh Berry because of that spin. Spun out, got sent to the rear, and worked his way from dead last to, a mistake away from probably winning the race, or at least having a shot at it. He got spun out and was last and didn't have a ton of help through cautions. I know there was a few cautions, but there wasn't a ton of strategy that helped him out through there. My guy just kind of drove his way back to the front and probably had the best car at the end of the race and finished second. Now, granted, second doesn't mean anything, especially when you're not in the playoffs. And he got kicked out at the end of the race last week based on points and doesn't have a shot to win the championship now. But Josh has shown that ability a couple times throughout this year. Obviously, won early at Vegas, and has had some races where he's qualified well. I think he qualified third this weekend, and was racing up in top 5 most of the day until he got spun out most of that first stage, and got spun out, got sent to the rear, drove his way. Didn't drive his way straight back to the front, but kind of methodically throughout the day worked his way back up and was there with an opportunity to win the race. And I believe if that was a non-playoff, non-Penske car, I think Josh Berry wins that race. I think he was doing his best to not run into him, and was doing his best to not put too much pressure on him, and was doing his best to not be overly aggressive, get into him. I think if that was Brad Keselowski winning that, or I think that race might play out differently. I think Josh Berry did a really, really good job. Even though he didn't win the race, I think that's probably his most impressive race in the Cup Series. Putting it all together with having issues that were not his fault, which he's had all month since the playoffs started. He's had issues, but finally had some issues, overcame them, and it was all on him. It was all driver, and it was really impressive to see. Like I said, I think that was his most impressive run in the Cup Series, and that's including his win at Vegas at the early part of the year.
I agree. Hit that button for you can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't do that. Well, I kind of alluded to what I was going to talk about in this segment earlier. You can't do that, Brad Keselowski. Just a boneheaded move. Going into one on a restart, I think he left 14 wide, maybe. I think that was what it was, maybe 15 wide.
Yeah,
there was a bunch of motherfuckers. And he drove down in there on the apron, NASCAR 2004 style, because that's where the speed is at New Hampshire in NASCAR 2004. He must have been playing that in a motorhome over the weekend, because he threw it in there, and there wasn't enough room. He hit the inside wall. I know there was some discussion on whether or not it was Shane's fault for squeezing him, which it wasn't. Brad went in there. Shane was there. I think he had the 24 or the 20.
I think the
20, I think.
there was another car there, kind of toward his right rear. Shane was stuck, couldn't go anywhere. Brad threw it in there and bounced himself off the wall, collects the 88, and several other people. Daniel Suarez was in that wreck. The 8 was in that wreck.
7.
The 7. There was a bunch of guys in that wreck, and I'm not saying Brad was going to win the race by any means, but Brad probably had the best car at Roush. He had kind of worked his way up through there through the first stage and was doing all right. And I like the aggressiveness of the move, but just you can't do that in that situation. You can't go. I think it was honestly 5-6 wide. You can't put yourself in that situation. You bounce yourself off the wall. You take out a guy that's having the run of his life on an oval, and it's just disappointing to see because Brad really never was a non-factor after that. So just kind of a dumb move. I understand it. I want guys to make those moves. Brad, though, is not one that I want to see making those moves. If Chris makes that move, I excuse it. If Priest makes that move, I excuse it because those guys aren't aggressive enough. So I want them to be a little bit more aggressive. I don't think Brad needs to be that aggressive in that situation. With that being said, I mean, it just kind of ruined his day, ruined a bunch of other people's day, and for that reason, you can't do that.
Yeah, that's obviously a good one. And one of the rare times you're giving it to an RFK driver for something he did on the track and not setup wise or just not showing up or something like that or not making an aggressive move.
He deserved it.
Yeah, so mind you can't do that. I'll mention real quick. I'm giving it to my Clemson Tigers just not showing up. I'm not going to get into too detail, but at home.
Go Orange.
It's just I knew the game was over. First drive of the game, Syracuse goes down there and scores easily, gets an onside kick. I was like, yeah, this game's fucking over. Just no heart from this team. These guys are just collecting NIL paychecks till they get into the NFL draft in April, and that's never been the Clemson way, never been the Clemson mentality. Best is the standard, and it's not being held up right now by this team. This team should be, on paper, should be 3-1 at the worst, and right now we're 1-3. The season's pretty much over. All I care about now is winning that game at the end of November right now, and I don't care if they lose or win any other game. I want them to beat South Carolina. It's the only thing I care about left on this season. I'll still watch. I'm not a fake Clemson fan. I'll watch. But just disappointing. These guys just seem entitled. It seems like they can just go out there and give out a half-ass effort and win these ball games, and clearly it's not been the case all year. So disappointing from them. But my NASCAR, you can't do that, is going to Cody Ware. Landon Castle once said when Danica Patrick tried to wreck him at Kansas 13 years ago, first number one rule in stock car racing is learn to wreck somebody without wrecking yourself. And Cody Ware did not do that. Austin Dillon dumped him right in front of Brian Blaney near the end of stage 1, I believe. And obviously Cody wasn't very happy about that. I get Cody's frustration there, but then late in the race, you go out there and try to wreck the 3, and you go out there and wreck yourself, and you wreck yourself. Like, you hit the wall hard, and pretty much your day's over, and you make your team work on that car. And it's a lot of repair work. Next-gen cars, not a ton, I guess, anymore, but it's still work for your guys that were not needed. I get trying to get the 3 back, but if you're going to get 3 back, you can't be wrecking yourself and not even wreck him in the process. Like, all 3 didn't wreck. The 3 didn't wreck in that situation. So, wreck yourself trying to get somebody back. That's always going to be you can't do that. Just Cody Ware, he's had some decent moments this year, but this was definitely a low point for him. So, maybe he needed Arby's on that car this weekend. If he had the meats, he had more meat, he could have got the job done.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, so, Cody Ware, wrecking yourself, trying to wreck somebody else, you can't do that.
Yeah, we got Kansas this weekend.
Yay. Well, I hope. The past 2 Kansas races have not been.
I don't remember
great.
Last year's.
Yeah, Ross
I was
won.
sitting on that back porch out there trying to watch it on my iPad.
I was at Chili's, I think, trying to watch it. None of us had power. at this point.
Thanks to Hurricane.
Yeah. Miami? Tulsa.
Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Go Hurricanes. But, yeah, so this race in the spring, Kyle Larson dominated. Got a little interesting towards the end. He kind of fell off. Christopher Bell was coming. Ryan Blaney was coming as well. And Larson was able to hold him off. That's the last time Larson won in the Cup Series. Last time we really saw dominating race-winning speed consistently from that 5 team. So we'll see what they got this weekend. But I'm expecting a pretty good race. You know, the spring race here the past several years has been better than the fall race, which gives me a little bit of, you know, I don't want to be right when I say this, but it might be underwhelming. Playoff race, a lot on the line. See if playoff guys maybe take it a little conservative at some points. Non-playoff guys go for it. And that might put on some great racing. I don't know, but it's multi-groove. You shouldn't get air blocked. If you're clearly faster than the guy in front of you, you should be able to make your way around them, which is always good. Tire wear has never been a huge factor here, but Goodyear continues to bring softer tires to the racetrack at them. And more tire wear, that'll create better racing as well. So,
Bringing a new tire this weekend.
So we'll see how that goes. So, you know, this race, I don't really think. I mean, it does matter track position wise, but it's not an end all be all. If you qualify 25th and you got a great car, you should be okay to work your way through the field to have a chance to win this race, which is rare to say in NASCAR these days at most of these tracks. So, I'm excited to see what happens. Excited to see how the playoffs go. I see some guys falling. See some guys rising, like a Ross, like a Bubba, like a Tyler Reddick. See if they can dig the way out of a big point hole and have a chance at the Roval if they don't get the job done and win the race this weekend. So, looking forward to it. It's probably the I don't know. Martinsville's been pretty good, fall Martinsville, but this probably will be the last best race of the season candidate if everything works out in its favor and you can have a couple guys that are running good all day and have a chance to kind of collide there at the end and so you can get the job done. Late race restarts are pretty common in this fall race. You could have that as well. Kyle Busch almost won this race last year, RCR, until he spun himself out trying to lap Chase Briscoe. Allowed Ross Chastain to get the win, but then again, had a late race restart there. So restarts going to be key. If you're an RFK guy, you don't want Brad Keselowski blowing the tire going into turn 1 when looked like he had the best car. Chasing down my guy, Chase Elliott, who looked like he had the second best car near the end of that race. So, track condition does matter, but you can work your way through the field. So, you make 1 or 2 mistakes here. It's not an end-all, be-all as you don't make it late in the race. And you get good pit stops. You know, you can't have a bad pit stop towards the end of the race because then you'll be doomed. So, it's all about execution, but you can work your way through the field in this race. So, I'm excited to see that. The best guy should have a chance to win this race as long as nothing catastrophic happens, and that's always a good thing. I think that'll happen this weekend, so I'm excited to see it. I think Hendrick should be good here. Toyota had kind of a bad weekend last weekend for dominating the first round. I think they should be pretty strong this weekend. The 11, the 20, the 19 should all be pretty good. I could see RFK being pretty good, especially with Brad. Chris in the past has been really good here, almost won here in the spring last year, so – Penske should
remind me.
Yeah. Blaney should be pretty good here. He finished third here in the spring. Probably had the best car at the very end of the race. So, a lot of guys I could see win this race. Ross Chastain won this race last year in Trackhouse. So, Kyle Busch almost won this race last year. So, a lot of guys that could win this race according to how everything works out at the end.
Yeah, I mean, as we've said plenty of times on this podcast, I think the mile-and-a-half stuff is consistently the best racing that the next-gen car produces, and Kansas has been on the leading edge of that, you know, barring the past two races here. Which, even with that being said, those races haven't been terrible. They just, you know, not lived up to the expectation the first couple have brought. You know, I expect a decent enough race. You know, good is probably the floor. I think we could have a great race here. I'm not really super worried about having a bad race. It's depending on this new right side tire and obviously depending on what the drivers do on the track. But, you know, I think it'll be good enough at the very least. And, we'll see. Like you said, the Roush guys have been here, been good here for the past couple of years, and probably should have won 2 out of the last 3 or 2 out of the last 4, barring some kind of dumb shit that happened with Brad blowing a tire and Chris kind of fumbling a restart and allowing the 5 to beat him. But they've been pretty good. I'm expecting, like I said, a pretty decent race regardless. So, we'll see. Coming, I don't even remember as the pick'em goes. Who won this week?
Me.
Who'd you have?
Bill.
And who'd I have?
Briscoe.
Come on, Chase. It's a damn shame. I'm gonna have to start winning. What's the score now?
2014.
Yeah, it's all over if I don't start winning.
I mean, we would tie if you got every other one right, but didn't get exact winners right.
Yeah, so I need.
And then I'd get the tiebreakers. They got more
wins. Because I hadn't won a race all year, I don't think.
Yeah, if not.
So, with that being said, who you got?
Here's some guys rumbling around my brain. I think Chase will be good. I don't know if he'll have race-winning speed. Larson, I could see get back off the snide and have a chance to win this race. Byron, the same thing. Denny should be pretty good here. But I don't want to. It'd be my last pick with him. I don't want to use him quite yet. So I'm gonna go with a guy that needs to have a great race here, possibly win. Ross Chastain.
Oh, that's a terrible pick. I'm glad you picked him.
It was back to back in the fall.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not in love with that pick. I know who I want to pick. Have I really only picked him once?
Who?
If I've only picked him once, I'm picking him.
I love how I contradict myself by saying the bottom 4 is probably going to be the 4 that don't make the playoffs next round. Then I pick a guy that's below the cut line.
Yeah, I've only picked this guy once.
We'll pick him. Let me guess. Byron.
No. Give me Denny Hamlin. I think coming off of a subpar weekend at New Hampshire, I think showing up at Kansas, I think Denny Hamlin has as good a chance of winning this championship as anybody. And if that's going to happen, he's going to have to win races. And this is one of his best seasons since this next-gen car has come out. I mean, he's doing really well. I think he's the best Joe Gibbs car. I think Joe Gibbs is the best team. Obviously, that won the first 3 races of the playoffs. Didn't quite show up at New Hampshire. Penske guys took the cake there, but I think Denny will show up this weekend at Kansas and have a really good shot at winning the race, and wouldn't surprise me if he did. So I think right now he's the guy to beat for the championship, even when he has bad weeks, which New Hampshire was not a great weekend for him. Still had a pretty decent finish. So I think he's going to show up to Kansas, especially with all the Ty Gibbs stuff, being in the news with something to prove, and I think he's going to prove it. I think he's going to go out, qualify well, and race well, and be there at the end to win the race.
Yeah, definitely good. He's kind of, like you said, he's been mediocre since we said he's a championship favorite after he won at Gateway a couple weeks ago. And wasn't great at Bristol and wasn't great at New Hampshire. But that's a good pick, though. I think he's one of his better tracks, so definitely could see that. But, Riley, what you got going on this weekend?
I'll be off. I'll be able to watch the racing, so that'll be good. Carolina's playing Kentucky on Saturday, so
I thought you had a bye week.
we got Kentucky this weekend. We got bye next week. Kentucky this weekend. That should be
a win.
It should be, but we should have beat Vandy and we should have beat Missouri. We should be undefeated right now.
Should have beat Vandy. You lost by 24.
Going into it, we should have beat Vandy. We're a better football team than Vanderbilt.
They might win the national championship.
They're not going to win the national championship. Just like you're better than Clemson's better than Syracuse. Clemson's better than Georgia Tech. They can't figure out a way to win football games. South Carolina's doing the same thing right now. We're finding ways to lose games instead of finding ways to win them. So we need to figure out how to get more than -9 rushing yards. We need to figure out a way to tackle because the tackling was abysmal. I don't know if you watched the Missouri game, but I mean that motherfucker was running through us like shit through a tin horn, and we could not stop him. Could not stop him.
How many rushing yards you get?
-9.
9 more than we've gotten tonight.
Yeah.
Or 9 less.
Yeah, I have more rushing yards than South Carolina had at Missouri. So they have got to figure out this weekend. Old Stoops needs to be fired from Kentucky, and we need to make that happen. So big game this weekend. Got to win this one. Have to win. This is a must-win for South Carolina's season because our schedule is tough from here on out. So Saturday, it's going to be a very important day for me.
Got the Xfinity race on Saturday, too.
Xfinity race as well. That'll be a good one. It's always puts on a good show at Kansas. And then, of course, Sunday, got the NASCAR race and NFL football. Lost again in fantasy this week. Your cousin beat my ass.
I lost to Nick.
I'm playing Nick this weekend, but
I lost to you by like 7. Lost to him by like
yeah.
15 or 20.
Well, if Malik Neighbors,
Derrick Henry was not fumbling the motherfucking ball for me.
if Ashton Genty to give the motherfucker the football, but whatever. I digress. This is a NASCAR podcast, but
I'm 1 and 2.
yeah. So that's what I got going on this weekend. Not a ton. Hopefully, sporting events don't let me down.
Who do y'all play? Denver.
Denver, we've got.
Oh, what a fake fan you are. You're not a real Bronco fan.
See, I remembered until you asked.
Houston.
I think you're right.
I'm just guessing. I have no idea.
I think it is Houston.
Well, if that's right. That's a hell of a guess for me. Can you spell?
No, I can't.
Clearly.
What the fuck?
I have it saved on your teams.
I do, but my app is so stupid sometimes.
Huh?
Oh, no, we got the Bengals. That's right.
Oh, Monday night.
Yeah,
That's
Monday
right.
Night Football, we got the Bengals.
That'd be a.
We should beat them.
Y'all should be at home, right?
We should beat them.
They
They
got
don't
fucked by the Vikings.
They don't have a quarterback. Their defense sucks.
Yeah,
We should beat them.
should.
We should be undefeated. We should be
3-0.
3-0. We should have beat Indianapolis. We had that game won. Stupid ass
Had
fucking.
the Chargers game won too.
Had that game won. We should be 3-0, and then we should be 4-0 after this weekend. But we're going to be 2-2 after this weekend, so hopefully that's what happens. What about you? What you got?
I'm off this weekend as well.
Goddamn time. You going back to the Knights?
I'll be a week off. But
Hell yeah.
Next Friday.
Bunch of beer drinking this weekend. Bunch of video game playing.
Yeah. So Clemson on a bye week, so I ain't got to worry about them losing this weekend. Even though people say you can lose on your bye week, I believe it. If this team, we could do that. So Saturday I can enjoy college football, I guess a little bit. Haven't been enjoying it all this year, just been miserable. Just based off my team. But Georgia, Alabama plays, that'll be a big one. Oregon, Penn State plays.
Go Dogs.
Ole Miss,
Go Dogs.
LSU.
Go
plays,
Tigers.
Saturday as well. So big weekend of college football. So it should be fun to see Xfinity racing as well. Sunday, my Panthers play the Patriots at the Patriots. That'll be a tricky game. Patriots.
Go Patriots.
They're hit or miss this year. They turn the ball over a lot and stuff like that. So hopefully we can take advantage of that. But we'll see. Coming off our 30-point win against Atlanta, hopefully we don't get too full of ourselves and go up there and shit a brick against New England. But it's a winnable game. But I'm not going to say my Panthers are going to win because I don't have any confident or consistent faith in them right now. But we'll see. But NASCAR race on Sunday. Should be a good one. Hopefully, I can have to shotgun another beer next week in the normal Highline Studios with a Blaney or an Elliott or a Chris win next week. But yeah, that's all I got.
Well, yeah. Follow us on the Highline at Instagram,
Highline Official.
Facebook.
Highline Podcast.
YouTube,
The Highline Podcast.
TikTok,
The Highline Podcast.
Lemonade,
The Highline Podcast. I ain't put that shit in months. Since like
Threads,
February. Since TikTok got unbanned for a day.
Fit Finder.
Fitfender.
But yeah, follow
Hey,
us.
what I say last week? I need to get a shirt of that. Whatever makes your boat go float.
Yeah,
That's a great saying.
Rode a boat.
Yeah, but follow the show on Spotify and Apple Podcast at the Highline. Hit the notification bell
Ding, ding.
to get every update every time we drop an episode. We'll come back with you next week in a more normal setting, hopefully, to review Kansas, talk about more NASCAR things, and bullshit along the way. But until next time, go Tigers.
Go Cox.